Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're talking about the one, the only Turbo Toad token. Now, before we jump into it, we're going to be doing the Coinfessions of the day. We're going to see, woke up this morning with 230,000 USD in my wallet. Someone sent it to me by mistake, not planning on sending it back. I'm going to be very, very honest. If this happened to me, you're not getting your money back either. It is what it is. Life isn't fair. And game is game. I mean, game is game. What are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Same thing, right? When Turbo goes to the damn moon, we're eventually going to be selling near the top and people are going to be buying at the top. It sucks not to be educated, but that's just how the world works. Get better. And that's all I can practically say. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we can see that in the last day or so, we are up roughly 2.62%. We are ranked 169 out of 9,478 active cryptos. We can see we have a market cap of 261 million market cap, 34 million volume. We can see in the last 24 hours, not bad at all. When we go and look at something like this when we go look at this something today, right? When we look at the amount of holders we have today, we can see we've gone up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. We have in general just been kind of flatlining. Obviously there's been a little bit of up and down in between, but ultimately, ever since the 22nd of August, which has been some time, we've really just been kind of mainly going flatline, which is not bad considering the price action for the last few weeks have just been bearish, right? We have been bearish, and we will most likely see, well, are we going to be bearish or are we going to turn and be bullish? We'll have to see. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we can see that there is going to be the Turbo Day AMA, which I will be on it as well. This is going to be my first one ever. So super excited. Honestly, don't know what the hell I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to be doing stuff, answering probably questions about Turbo. We're going to be talking about Turbo. Things are going to be looking good. We can actually see, ladies and gentlemen, that boom, Turbo Town is now live inside the tails of Mitoria, right? You can see fueled by Turbo Toad token with Turbo play, stake, earn. So we can see Turbo is here, right? Turbo is in another game, which is fantastic, right? Which is fantastic. This is what we love to see, ladies and gentlemen. Little things like this, you still put on your resume, right? You still put on your resume. If Turbo was literally going to put everything they had as a job application, their resume would look fantastic, okay? It genuinely would look 12 out of 10. And this isn't even glaze. This is just the truth, right? This is just the truth. It is what it is. We can see, ladies and gentlemen, practically ever since, mid-July, we have been just kind of going down. We have been consistently selling off, going lower and lower, which was expected. We did literally call it out at the time, right? We said how crucial it was to close above this 4-hour candle. We never got it. We called that there are going to be pullbacks and a sell-off, and that is exactly what has been happening ever since then. We can see, ladies and gentlemen, we did also talk about how there was going to be most likely a reversal here. There was a reversal. Unfortunately, it was very short-lived, only a couple of days. That Thursday, mid-August, was a huge shift in momentum. It was a dagger, and we can see ever since then, we just have been consistently selling off. Now, we did talk about how important it was for Turbo to close above the 0.0036. And that's exactly what happened, right? We closed above it, absolute victory. Now, we did say most likely in the beginning of September, there's still going to be some type of sell-off and manipulation. And so far, even though we're only 1 or 2 days in September, that has been the case so far. And from what I see at this current moment, there are still no big or major reversal signs just yet. You could argue that over here we do have some nice 4 hour structure that is practically, looking to be as support, but at the same time, it's nothing too convincing. So, we'll just have to see how things play out. Ultimately, in the bigger picture, I'm still super hyped about Turbo, right? We still have this massive key zone right over here that, we should not be ever breaking again. We should never be breaking this again. Obviously, in bear season, we'll see what happens. But in terms of the now, it really should be holding. And I expect it to be holding, right? I expect it to be holding. And I expect Turbo to do very, very well. Now, I know some people have brought up, well, what happened to the global liquidity index? We already talked about this weeks before. That look, it has fallen off, right? It has fallen off and it hasn't really been matching with the global liquidity. I mean, if we take this, maybe here 91 days. I mean, yeah, we had, okay, so this top was 91 days, but everything in the middle and for the longest time, right, we weren't already matching. We weren't matching the data. So there could be still some key points. Now, unfortunately, the global liquidity is kind of getting wrecked, right? It is kind of getting wrecked. We were over here, right, when Turbo actually, pumped, and we can see the global liquidity for many, many weeks has actually been kind of sideways, which is a little bit concerning, but at the same time, I'm not too worried. We can see, according to global liquidity, I mean, if nothing changes, we might be here until December, which I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. I would be actually very, very surprised. But overall, there's just been a lot of choppiness. If we even take something like this, 91 days out, you can see, yeah, next week, supposedly a little bit of a pump. I mean, I don't really know. I don't really care about the global liquidity index too much. I just look at the technical analysis, and yeah, I mean, things have been looking pretty well from there. Like I said, September most likely going to be a little bit of a sell-off and bait in the beginning. Now, 3 month candle does look terrible. I won't even lie to you. This looks absolutely garbage as a 3 month candle. Uh, so it's important that September, recovers a little bit, because the last thing we want is actually a candle close like this. It looks absolutely horrible. The 6 month actually looks pretty bad too. But of course, with the 6 month, we still have some time to go. But that is ultimately it going to be. That's ultimately it, ladies and gentlemen, right? That is ultimately it. I hope you guys did enjoy. Nothing too crazy. We will be calling out a lot of meme coins we are looking to be flipping in the private community. We already made a 11x in July. We made a 5.5x. We made a 8x. So things are looking good, right? Things are looking good, and they're only going to be called in the private community because it's only fair that way. And yeah, that is ultimately it. If you want a portfolio review or anything else, or advanced technical analysis, or a weekly report, is also going to be in the private community. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.